Well, here we are on the big pit. The rods are out, well they've been out since last night. I see a couple of fish jumping at probably about 80 yards range. So I put 2 out across where that fish showed, and I got 1 fishing close in. So today I just want to do a little chat about what I'm using over here. I mean, there's a lot of rubbish really talked about rigs, and I tend to keep things simple if I can, as you well know. And then as I've shown before on Atomic TV, I tend to use just one kind of bottom bait rig, and I tweak it according to the type of water that I'm fishing. Alternatively, I use like a wafter rig, and I've shown you how to do that. I'm using pop-up rigs on all 3 rods. I've got 1 on a Hinge stiff link, and I've got the other 2 fishing on the Chod rigs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a quick run through on the mechanics of the rig, what kind of hooks to use, what kind of hook link to use, and what kind of lead setup that I'm using. I mean, the Hinge stiff link was devised a great many years ago by Terry Hearn, and it's still as effective today as it was all that time ago. I mean, it really is a good rig. The Chod rig, everybody knows about. It's an excellent rig for fishing over what could be described as chod, i.e. rubbish on the bottom and weed and that kind of thing. So the rod that I'm fishing close in, just at the bottom of the marginal shelf, that's on the Hinge stiff link, and then the 2 that are fishing out in the pond over there, probably about 80 yards range, they're both on Chod rigs. Okay, I'm going to run you through the Hinge stiff link. Firstly, the hook I'm using is a size 6 Atomic Chodda. Now this is a very sharp, strong hook, which is just what you need for the waters that I'm fishing, for this water in particular, which is weedy and you're fishing for big fish. You don't want your hook to let you down. So as per the grabbers, this is a good strong hook that will not let you down. It's got a lovely long point, a nice sized barb and an out-turned eye. So it's perfect for either the Hinge stiff rig or the Chod rig. So as I say, over the years, like all and sundry have brought out different versions of Chod hooks, but in my opinion, this is the best hook for the job. It won't bend as per other hooks, and it just won't let you down. It's a blinding hook. So now I've attached that via a snood knot onto a very stiff section, the little hook section of some kind of bristle filament in the 20. That I've attached to a nice little swivel via a 3-turn blood knot, and then I've moulded the rock bottom rig putty over the knot, which the tag end I've blobbed, which helps the putty adhere. So that stays on there perfectly. Right, in turn, the small swivel I've attached to a figure-of-8 loop knot. Now, if you don't know how to tie the loop knot, check out Matt Eaton's Stiff and Clip on the website, and he'll show you exactly how to do it. Now, you've always got to be sure that there's no twist in the loop there, because you don't want the swivel catching. Also, you've got to be really sure that you've got a nice round section of the memory-free monofilament. So what I do, I use like a little knitting needle, the end of a knitting needle, and then what you do, once you've tied the rig, you pull it, and that rounds off the end. So as I said, like this is £20 memory-free monofilament, and that's been attached to a 10mm Atomic flexi ring swivel. Now that allows movement around the terminal tackle, which is very important. So the idea of this rig really is that the slight stiffness of the memory-free monofilament pushes the whole setup away from your lead, like this, and it sits on the bottom like that. Now, your little swivel runs on your figure-of-8 loop knot. So you've got plenty of movement now as the fish approaches the bait or tries to take the bait into its mouth. You have got the movement there. I mean, the section I'm using is probably 8 inches long, which is standard, but you can use it shorter, like really short, up to like 2 inches if you want, 2-3 inches, or even longer if you want. So it pays to experiment. Now the idea is that the fish takes the bait and the hook into its mouth, and because of the stiff properties of the hook section, it can't eject it. It goes in, but it can't get rid of it. And essentially what you've got is a little D on the hook section. So once you've tied your knot, be it a snood knot, a whipping knot, pass the tag end back through the eye, snip it off, leaving probably about 4 mil, and then burn it with a lighter, and that will create your D. Now, to create a nice smooth D, I use a little crochet needle. So once you've tied your rig on there, you put your crochet needle through it and create the perfect shaped D. Now on that is running a small rig ring onto which I've attached the bait via dental floss. So that's the hook link section. You've always got to make sure that your boom section is nice and straight. You don't want any kinks in it or anything like that, because it will diminish the rig's effectiveness. So it's critical that you tick all the boxes when it comes to this rig. You've got to basically follow what I've just said perfectly, and that really is an effective rig. But as I say, I love this hook. You almost chuckle when you put them on, because you know, like, it's the strongest, sharpest hook that's available for the job, which is perfect in my mind. Now, this rig always has to be fished helicopter style. I mean, I've said it before, and I've done a run through as to my preference for a helicopter rig setup, but you have to use it with a helicopter rig setup. If you used it with an inline setup, the lead would jam into the bottom and it would kick the hook link up, and it wouldn't be effective at all. So what you're looking at there is a 3-ounce atomic distance lead. Above that, I've got like a little chopped down hoodie. Now I've chopped it down because I've snipped the swivel off the loop at the top of the lead, and I just think it's neater. I like using it like that. I mean, if you prefer to keep the swivel on your lead, you can use the hoodie as it comes in the packet. So, but I prefer to snip them down. You've got your 10mm flexi ring swivel running above that, and then a 6mm buffer bead above that to keep it in position. The whole lot's running on 35-pound atomic lead core. I've attached the lead to the lead core with a 3-turn grinner knot, and then at the top I prefer to use a 3-turn needle knot. It's nice and simple. Alternatively, if you prefer it, you can splice this end and splice that end, but just make sure that your helicopter rig is nice and safe. If you have a crack off or a breakage of any kind, you always want this bead to be able to run up the lead core and pull away, leaving the fish with only the hook link. So always bear that in mind. Always make sure that your rigs are safe. The thing is, you've got to use rigs on these kind of waters that you've got 100% confidence in. Now, this rig has caught hundreds, if not thousands of carp, including some very big carp. So when I put that out there, I've got 100% confidence in it, and I know it's going to work.